Okay, so my name is Joel Caparelli, and in 2015 a friend and I started doing video production together. So since then I've learned a lot, and it's the beginning of the year, it's 2022, and everybody has goals. And one of my goals this year is to create a YouTube video every month. And so those YouTube videos are going to be focused on video production education. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about why gear matters. There is a lot of YouTube videos that I've watched that say gear doesn't matter. Absolutely false. I believe that gear matters so much, because if you don't have the right gear, you can't create what you want to create. Also, a disclaimer. Just because you have nice gear doesn't mean your videos are going to be perfect. You still have to learn to edit. You still have to have good content. If you don't have good content, of course the gear doesn't matter. But in creating content, gear does matter. Anyways, to start off the video, I'm going to go through a couple tips and things I've learned from video production and things about gear that are really important. And so tip number one is buy gear that you need, not gear that you want. When I started doing video stuff, I only focused on the camera body. I didn't focus on lights, I didn't focus on audio. And so when I would make videos, all that I had was my nice camera body. I had bad audio and I had bad lighting. You've probably seen videos where someone's like in a room with like one tungsten light up in the center of the room, and like they get the raccoon eyes going. Yeah, that's kind of how my videos looked. And it's because I didn't invest in other things other than the camera body. So tip number one, buy things you need, not things you want. For example, I'm on a red right now, but I don't have a great lighting setup at home. My lighting setup at home is very basic, which is why I'm out here. I wanted to shoot this video in a quiet place, not with a bunch of cars in the background like there is right now, and geese and wind, but because I don't have a good lighting setup, I can't. I'm forced to come outside where there's clouds and nice diffusion, so it looks nice. And I like this look, but I can't emulate it in my apartment because I don't have nice lighting setup. So instead of focusing on buying, let's say a red, something I want, I need to focus on something I need, which is lights. So if you want, so for example, if you're a wedding videographer, I would highly encourage you to buy things like a recorder and then XLR cables that can plug in to the DJ's soundboard so that you can record their audio. I would encourage you to buy tripods. I would encourage you to buy a stabilizer and maybe get smaller, lighter, mirrorless cameras like an EOS R or like the Sony A7 if you can afford it. And there's even smaller ones like the EOS RP, which for shooting weddings is a fantastic camera, and I totally recommend it. If you're into shooting things like music videos, if you have a friend that does music and you want to practice making music videos, buy lights. Aperture has some fantastic lights for super cheap. Their Amaran series is fantastic. Alright, tip number two. Focus on your goal, what you want to be shooting, and aim towards that. Buy gear towards that. So, kind of like I said before, if you want to shoot music videos, buy gear that's going to enable you to shoot music videos. That might be sliders, that might be tripods, that might be lights, it might be audio equipment. But buy gear that's going to allow you to shoot what you want to shoot. My mistake was buying camera bodies and lenses, which essentially only enabled me to shoot weddings and run and gun stuff. And so I wasn't able to ever shoot commercials or shoot music videos like I wanted to because I didn't have the gear to shoot it. Buy used gear. Tip number three, buy used gear. For example, I bought a bunch of small rig stuff and I love it. I bought it new, which was kind of expensive instead of used, and it was nice. It didn't have any scratches on it, but it's been a year since I bought it. It's got scratches on it. It's got dings on it. It's gonna happen. It's not a great use of money to buy things new, unless of course you can't find them used anywhere. Then of course buy used. But there's great websites like Borrowed Lenses has a great used section. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go check out used gear. So buy used gear. It saves money. Sometimes you can find people even in your city that have done video stuff that are upgrading to new stuff and don't want their old stuff anymore. I mean, I have a good friend who was shooting on the Ronin and upgraded to the Ronin R2 or S2, whatever the new one that just came out is. And I say just came out sometime middle of last year, maybe even before that. Anyway, so he bought that one, didn't need his old one anymore, so he sold it to me for a couple $100. So ask around, ask people in your community that do video stuff if they have any used gear they don't need anymore that they'd be willing to sell, and I'm sure you can find someone who will sell you something. Tip number 4, don't forget the small stuff. Don't forget batteries. You can shoot, you might wind up going on a shoot and run out of batteries if you only have 1 or 2 batteries. So I recommend that you buy extra batteries. My favorite battery is this V-mount battery that I bought off of B&H. It was like 200 bucks. It lasts for days, like legit. I think it has like 12 hours, and I've never shot anything 12 hours long. And even on my weddings that I've shot, the battery has lasted the entire day, and usually there's still 50% left. So buy batteries, buy the boring stuff, you know, buy a decent microphone. If you don't like audio like I don't, then you're not gonna wanna invest in a $1,000 microphone because that just doesn't seem cool to you. But again, going back to tip number 1, don't buy things you want, buy things you need. And so invest in those small things that you need. Buy storage. You know, storage has come down a lot in price. You can get like a Western Digital hard drive from Best Buy for like 50 bucks. And starting out doing small video projects, it'll be plenty of storage. If you need more, Lacey has some nice stuff. Even SanDisk has smaller, like terabyte or 2 terabyte SSDs that aren't terribly expensive for like 100 bucks. They're totally affordable. So I totally recommend buy storage, buy tripods, make sure everything can hold your gear, buy light stands, buy microphones, buy the stuff you don't necessarily want but you know you need. But anyways, I think that's it for this video. I hoped all my tips and everything that I said was helpful and educational, and then hopefully they'll have a new video out soon. Cool. Also, it's crazy how much noise was here. I'm sorry I stopped so much. If this video seems kind of like cutty and jumpy, it's because there were so many geese and so many cars driving, and it was just way too loud. I'm sorry. I promise the next video will be much more audio controlled.